For a long time, I thought loyalty was this eternal flame, something you could keep alive by feeding it pieces of yourself. Your time, your energy, even your soul. I believed if you gave enough, it would blaze bright enough to guide others through the dark. But at 27, I learned the harsh reality. Loyalty, when one-sided, doesn't warm you, it burns you hollow. My name's James Anderson, and this is the story of how I became invisible to the very people I sacrificed everything for. It all started when I was 19. That was the year I stepped up to hold my crumbling family together. I became the beams and the braces keeping everything from falling apart. My hands blistered working warehouse shifts during the day, and my eyes burned from coding websites late into the night. I paid the mortgage, covered the gas bills. Whenever my brother Caleb needed money for school or my mom, Evelyn, had unexpected hospital costs, it was my account that bled. I wore the same worn-out boots for 3 winters so Caleb could have new shoes. Skipped dinner so Dad, Vincent, could keep his old car running. I was the eldest. That meant I didn't get the luxury of falling apart. When Dad's construction business went under, so did his laughter. He traded it for liquor and long silences. Mom stopped smiling, her face frozen in worry. Caleb, 20, buried himself in campus life and parties, chasing dreams we couldn't afford. My sister, Leah, just 16, lived for her phone, lost in filters and online fads. I loved them. All of them. Even when my bank account was dust, even when I was surviving on stale coffee and sleepless nights, I kept telling myself they'd eventually notice who was holding up their sky. They didn't. The breaking point came one bitter February evening. I was out in the garage, my fingers numb and stained with oil, working on Mom's busted radiator. I just finished paying off a $5,000 loan my dad owed, money I scraped together from back-to-back shifts and freelance work. The weight of everything pressed down on me, not just physically, but deep in my chest. It felt like I was suffocating under years of sacrifice. I walked into the den where Dad sat, eyes glued to a muted TV. I said, "We need to talk about the money. I can't keep doing this alone." He glanced up, expression cold as stone. "Doing what?" he sneered. "You live in this house, eat our food, and now you want to whine about helping?" That hit like a slap. I snapped, "I've been paying for this roof, the electricity, your gas, everything." He got up, laughed bitterly. "You think you're some kind of hero? You're a leech with a martyr complex. If you're that tired, then leave." Mom stood silently in the doorway, clutching a dish towel, frozen. Leah glanced up from her screen, then looked away. Caleb, back for the weekend, just took another sip of his beer. I waited for someone to say something. Anything. To stand up for me. But all I got was silence and the low hum of the television. That night, I packed a single bag. A few clothes. My laptop. A phone charger. No goodbyes. I slipped out like a ghost from the very home I had kept alive all these years. I crashed at a coworker's spare room and shut everything off. Mortgage, internet, Leah's music subscriptions. Cut it all. 3 weeks passed. Then the calls started. Evelyn's voicemails piled up. "James, the heating's off." Caleb texted, "Yo, what happened to the Wi-Fi?" Leah messaged, "Where are you? I can't even use my data." Every alert was a stab, but I didn't respond. I had spent so long convincing myself their needs were more important than my pain. But that night in the den had stripped that illusion away. The silence spoke for me now. 2 months later, Leah called from a number I didn't recognize. "You're heartless," she snapped. "Dad's falling apart, and you're pretending like we're strangers." I almost laughed, but it came out rough. "Strangers? I paid for your phone, your laptop, your wardrobe, everything. And you all just watched." She hung up without another word. That night, I poured everything into a letter I never sent. I wrote, "You called me a burden, Dad, but I was your foundation. Mom, you never once asked if I was okay. I gave until I had nothing left, and no one even saw me disappearing. Eventually, I found a small loft to rent, picked up a stable tech job, started eating real meals again, ones that didn't come out of a can. 4 months passed. Then Dad sent an email. Foreclosure notice. Please help us, James. Just this once. There was no apology, only panic. I never replied. Soon after, a package arrived at my office. Somehow they'd tracked me down. Inside was an updated copy of Dad's will, amended 2 years earlier. My name wasn't in it. I was labeled unstable, even while I was the one paying their bills. A few days later, an old friend, Nate, messaged me. Hey man, that house your family lives in? My dad's firm just bought it. They're planning to gut it unless someone steps up. My heart stalled. The house I saved was up for grabs. And now I had the means to claim it. I met with the firm. My finances were strong. My resolve stronger. I bought the house under a nameless LLC. They never knew. On the day the sale closed, Evelyn left a voicemail, her voice cracking. The house is gone, James. We don't know what to do. I didn't call her back. Instead, I sent an official letter from the LLC. 90 days to either pay market rent or vacate. No emotion. Just the terms. Then they showed up at my door. Vincent, Evelyn, Caleb, Leah. All of them, standing there like ghosts from a past life. Vincent stood on the sidewalk, jaw clenched, pretending he hadn't once called me a parasite. Evelyn's eyes were hollow, pleading. We're family, she whispered. Family sticks together. I leaned in the doorway, calm. Family? You erased me from your will while I was footing your bills. I gave you nearly a decade of my life. What did I get in return? Leah opened her mouth, but no words came. Caleb looked down. Vincent finally said, You owe us. We're your blood. I held up the keys. No. You owe rent. Pay up like any other tenant, or move out. They didn't stay. Ended up with some distant cousin who used to call me a drifter. I hear things aren't going well for them, but my phone hasn't rung since. I kept the house, renovated it, turned part of it into a workshop where I now build custom furniture. It's a quiet space, a space that's finally mine, where I can breathe. I've learned something. Loyalty isn't supposed to be a cage. It's a decision. And now, I choose me. If you've ever felt invisible, drop a comment. Who have you carried too long? And if you're still holding them up, ask yourself, why? Don't forget to subscribe. I've got more truths to tell. Thanks for listening.